coming up this Saturday in College Park, the annual Maryland football spring game at noon. And joining us now here on GCR, someone who we've always enjoyed our conversations with. He is a McDonogh alum. He is Maryland safety Dante Trader, and he's back with us now here on GCR. Dante, it's Glenn. It's always good to catch up, man. Thank you for taking the time for us.
Thanks for having me.
Everything good in your world, man? I know you're a busy dude. I see you do, like, whether you're podcasting or like playing chess. Like, you are, you stop playing two sports and you still somehow find a way to be like the busiest man on the face of the planet.
Hey man, I can't sit still. You can't keep all the eggs in one basket. You gotta diversify yourself a little bit. So I like to do that. But I'm a little extreme, but.
So tell me about. I thought the chess thing was fascinating. I don't know what happened. Who ultimately ended up winning the chess tournament?
Chance ended up beating me in the championship.
Oh.
We kind of everybody guessed it was gonna be me and him in the championship because we play a lot more than the other guys. But yeah, he got me.
Where does your love for chess come from? Like, where did you pick that up, and like what got you interested in chess to begin with?
I ain't gonna lie, a lot of the guys on the team it stemmed from Talia. Because in camp, a lot of the older guys, you don't have to spend as much time as we did with the coaches or like figuring out the playbook. So we were bored. So he played chess, and Leah would teach me how to play chess. And me, I'm very competitive. So every time he was beating me, I kept getting mad. So I was like, all right, every time you beat me, I'm gonna go back and study and watch it on YouTube and stuff like that. So that's kind of where it stemmed from.
Man, so a lot of people talk about how like football can be a chess match. Do you find any parallels for like, do you find yourself thinking maybe 3 moves ahead more now on the football field after having played chess the way that you've been playing for the last couple of years?
Yeah, there's definitely some similarities. Like chess keeps you on your toes and like especially in life, it allows you to be able to have a counter or move a certain way, and then obviously playing aggressively, offensively or defensively, depending on schematics of anything. You always got that look ahead. So yeah, I find myself planning. Okay, if I get this look and I'm gonna move here and I'm gonna alert this before that. So
Wow.
chess ultimately strengthens your brain power.
So how are you as a competitor after you lose in the final? Do you find yourself like immediately trying to push for like doing this again like in the next couple of months, or can you be cool about it and wait till next year? Although I guess at that point you might not be around to do it. Like, how do you handle this?
Oh yeah, you kind of just gotta. Well, me after I was like so drained because chess is like drain. It like literally tires you out. So I was like, I don't want to play chess for a good 2 months. But then after that, I'm ready to play. So I've been playing a lot lately. So yeah, I want to play soon.
So besides Chance, who else actually can compete with you on the team?
There's a lot of guys that weren't in the competition that had either class conflicts or other things going on that that are really good. Like the Guzman, one of our linebackers.
Okay.
There's a bunch of guys on the team that are pretty good.
Man, that's cool. I really thought that was a cool thing that you guys were taking that up, and I imagine like there's even other things that come from that. Like just doing it together has got to be beneficial for your group, right?
Oh, most definitely. It's camaraderie and doing something outside of football and showing our light outside of again that the gridiron.
That's awesome, man. Dante Trader is with us here on GCR as we're getting ready for the spring game on Saturday. Dante, I guess I mentioned it earlier, but part of the story is you haven't played in all of the spring games, right? Like you've sometimes had other things that you were doing. Take me back a little ways. The decision to go back to just committing full time for football. Walk me through the thought process of it. Is any of it just sort of saying, hey, like this is what my life is going to be moving forward? Like as I work towards the NFL, I want to give everything to playing football.
All right, so I'm gonna just open it up because I haven't been answering people's questions about
Oh, I'm
lacrosse
sorry.
and
I didn't
everything
know
like
that
that.
was a thing.
No,
I'm
no, no.
sorry.
Let's talk about it.
Okay.
To be honest, I'm gonna be honest with the fans. I just lately made a decision not to play. I was like toying around with it in my head and on the lacrosse side and football side. But ultimately, my body and stuff like that I was like, I don't know if I want to take the risk again because you're going to be playing on 2 years and you're not nonstop going into lacrosse to summer training to football to and God have let me play to the league. Then I'm going into training, then combine, then straight into rookie mini, stuff like that. So that's a long process without a break. So, I had to ultimately make that decision. I literally made that decision this week, and I was like really like missing the boys. I was like, man, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back. I was like, you know, and all the fans are wanting me to go. I was like, man, you literally, it was like a split decision. I was really about to come back, but ultimately I had to set it down for my body's sake. So I had to, kind of be a little selfish because the risk on my body.
No, I completely understand that. Is it tough for you? Like, are you able to watch? Or you're like, dude, I can't even watch if I'm not out on the field because I feel like I could be out there helping, and I don't want to think that way.
Oh, I love watching.
Okay.
Especially because those are my brothers out there still. After a year playing with them, I know all those boys, and when you know the system they're playing, it does kind of get hard to watch. He's like, oh, he should have been here. You should have did this. But I love being in a fan perspective and watching my boys compete.
I'll appreciate that. So what does being there for spring practice and being a part of the scrimmages and the spring game on Saturday? You have been through it before. What does it
Yep.
do for you? What does it do for this team? Is clearly, you guys are continuing to build, succeed, coming off another bowl win, another solid season. What does the
Yep.
spring do for you at this point in your career?
Right now, as a spring, as an older guy, to me, it allows me to become one a student of the game because I'm learning more stuff that I already don't know because I already know the playbook. So now you're learning more intricacies of the game, watching more NFL tape, watching your old tape of small details like a footwork, your eyes, your how you play certain things, and you're going in detail on those things because necessarily I don't have to focus on the playbook. Then on the other side, I'm able to coach my teammates, that'll be out there, that'll be subbing me out in the season or upcoming couple of years. So this paying it forward for this next generation coming up, and honestly, it's been good because I've been able to you know further along our relationships with my coaches and things like that. So which has been really good.
That's cool, man. Dante Trader is with us here on GCR, the spring game Saturday in College Park at noon. Dante, I mentioned earlier, like your pursuit. We're seeing like Bo go through it right now, right? Obviously, that's your boy, and you guys have been doing the
Yep.
podcast together. What do you feel like? I know that the story is winning. You want to keep winning. I know that. But for you personally, what more do you still want to grow about your game before you make this jump a year from now and it's your name that we're getting ready to hear in the NFL draft?
I would just say for me, as what I've been working on the most, since I've been switched to the boundary, is my run fits and my eyes and my pad level things like that, and then obviously being a more balanced safety. So, having my eyes in the right spots from every down takes me to where I need to be, and then just not overthinking stuff. I feel like my brain's like a computer in terms of football. So, like I said, like I can think three moves ahead. I see this formation or this tight split of this guy, this third down situation,
Hmm.
already processing four different things, and sometimes being too smart can hurt you. So just trusting my technique and doing my job and not trying to overcompensate for things, and just letting the game come to me. But ultimately, improving my man technique, my tackling, and all that stuff will help me be a better safety.
For the team, right? There's going to be a change, obviously, at quarterback, and that'll be new because it's been quite some time since there's been a different quarterback under center. But sustaining what you guys have been doing and then building off of it, right? And I feel like we've talked about this before. Like, how do you take that proverbial next step? You guys have been so close in some of these big games that you've played against the top teams in the country. Can you define what you believe is like the difference, the small difference between winning games, being good, and being ready to go compete to try to win a Big Ten title?
To winning is hard. Let's just make it obvious right there.
No doubt.
So, and everybody's working hard. Everybody's doing the same workouts. Everybody's practicing. So how are you going to separate yourself is your mentality of your team. Your mentality of our Maryland team. You're not going to be given anything. So we got to go take it. We got to be strong-willed guys. We got to be resilient. We got to be very tough, which we show. But where we have lacked and what we're trying to fix is our discipline. Those extra penalties that will kill you in those big games if you go rewatch games. So, we're trying to, hone on the discipline of our team to allow us to win and capitalize on these games. And that's really the biggest thing is mentality and discipline. Because if you don't have the mentality, your team is going to roll over when you face adversity or, you face a good team or things and stuff like that where you got to perform. And then just the discipline, it comes down to, are you going to be disciplined to stay in your gap? You're going to be disciplined to do your job. You're going to be disciplined not to throw a punch. You're gonna be disciplined
Hmm.
not to say certain things. Ultimately those things come back to haunt you. In all phases of the game,
I'm glad, Dante, you brought that up, right? Because I think that that's been brought up a few times. Just the penalties, right? Like things that it feels like you should be able to control. Like you know you have the talent, you know you have the ability, but you just can't let those things get away from you against these top teams. Like they're going to take advantage of that.
most definitely.
So that's the thing you got to work. It makes all the sense in the world. This thing that you guys have done in the spring, I mentioned it earlier, like going up to Baltimore and doing an event at Morgan, being in D.C. last week. I don't know, maybe creature comforts. You'd rather just do everything at home, but like, has it been cool for you, who's someone who's been here for a little while through high school, to go take the program throughout the regions? Is it something that you think that the program would benefit from continuing to do moving forward?
Yes. Me, I'm the guy of giving back, and how I want to be remembered, someone that gives back. And when you walk into a room, you want somebody to, you know, notice who you are because of what you do for the game. And what Coach Locks allowed us to do is go out in the community and have younger generation or have fans that don't normally get to see us practice other than the games that can't get out there. We go talk and meet and greet them. They get to see the Maryland Terps are in their backyards play, and I feel like that's the greatest way of giving back. And going out to Baloo was very amazing just to see the amount of people we got to talk to, the kids that were out there. They got to see us practice in another element, and that could have sparked somebody to go say, hey, I want to go to Maryland. Hey,
Hmm.
I want to go to their spring. I want to go to their game. So one, you're giving back to the community. Two, you're allowing more fans, and the better the fans of the situation, which ultimately is why Coach Loxley is doing a great, tremendous job here at Maryland. Capitalizing the whole image of Maryland.
That's cool, man. That's really cool that you have that perspective for it, and I appreciate it. Dante, what's the role of the defense? Obviously, big subplot of spring football for Maryland has been alluded to the quarterbacks, but what is the defense's role in trying to like make sure that these guys are tested and are able to perform their best as they try to solve things on the offense? Like you guys want to compete, but like do you feel like a level of responsibility to help push these guys for whoever ends up getting the job?
Yes. And that's everybody's favorite question is the quarterbacks. You know, yeah, it's our job every day to, do our standard. We have a standard with Coach Brian Williams brings every day. He talks to us. We set a level. We can't let the offense rise to our level or beat us that day, or we didn't do our job. When we raise that level, we got to keep that pressure on because ultimately it's a team and we bring them to the level of us. You know what I'm saying? So if we're practicing hard, they're going to practice hard. If we're doing good, they're going to try to do
Mm.
good because ultimately it affects them. It's a competition, but I feel like selfishly, I've told all the quarterbacks, I'm gonna make the picture change on play little mind games and these chess games with y'all to help y'all. But ultimately, I've helped all these quarterbacks. They help me. I'm like, so Billy, MJ, Cam, Saray, Sam. I'm like, what do y'all see on this? Why'd y'all throw this? Or what'd y'all throw this? And they're like, okay, Trader, what'd you see on this?
That's
What
cool.
made you lean here? Things like that. We talk a lot about that. Obviously, you want to compete, but after you got to give them the tips to help them be a better quarterback.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. All right, now the most important question: what's the future of the podcast once Bo gets drafted this week and has a new NFL home? What's the plan moving forward?
I'm gonna hold it down, and I'm gonna do what I can with the podcast, and hopefully he can get some big guests on there so we can get this podcast rolling. But ultimately, the future of this will be our our way from the game because it's
Yeah.
fun. We could talk all day and chop shop. So when we get into the league, that's gonna be something like the Kelseys have going on, things like that.
No, but I've actually genuinely enjoyed the content you've done with like other athletes on campus and like trying to compete against each other. I thought that's been really cool, man, and like a different. It's something that gives different perspective and is different than anybody else is doing. It's the One Speed podcast. Encourage everybody to check it out. Dante, of course, I know it's Dizzy Dante on Twitter and Dante.Trader on Instagram. Is there anything else I can plug for you, man?
Just a One Speed account, man. Help us grow this podcast. Help us grow our identity of the mindset of One Speed. And everything you do in life is you got to do it One Speed and give it all your heart. So, and it's the only way we know. So,
Man, I appreciate that. And really, I do genuinely enjoy the content you guys are doing. And it's at One Speed Podcast as well on Twitter and just at One Speed ENT on Instagram, right?
Yep.
Awesome. Dante, look forward to Saturday in the spring game. Always appreciate you, man. Truly enjoy our conversations, bro. Continue to kill it. May you have a massive season ahead, and I have no doubt that we'll be talking again. Thank you for taking the time for us.
Appreciate you.